my name is Hansini and I chose Vishaka Sangha. Vishaka was born the same day as Radharani. She was 14 years, 2 months and 15 days old. Vishaka and Radha are so similar that they're almost like twins. She wears the Ragli garments, which are decorated with stars, and she has a complexion like lightning, which is cream and a hint of red. Vishaka adores playing the mridanga, and she has a favorite tune, and it's the Raga Saranga. She has the voice of cuckoo birds. In the Gaur Lila, her form is Ramananda Rai, but she also has the form of Yamuna River. Krishna, whenever he looks at Vishaka, he always thinks of Radha. And whenever Radha looks at the deep blue waters of Yamuna, she thinks of Krishna. Vishaka's seva is decorating and dressing Krishna and Radha. She's an expert at painting flowers and leaves on their bodies, and she makes crowns out of flowers for them. She also embroiders. She's an expert at embroidery, first of all. She embroiders flowers and onto their clothes. She's a consultant of Radha and Krishna, like their couples therapy, and she is like the messenger between Radha and Krishna. One time in Vrindavan, Srimati Radharani was thinking that in a few months it would be Kartik, and since it would be Kartik, that means it would be the Rasa dance. So Radharani was thinking, like, I want to learn a new dance to dance with Krishna. So she gathered all of her gopi friends and she was like, I'm going to go see Shyam Sundar and ask him to teach me a new dance. The gopi said, Radha, Shyam Sundar doesn't know how to dance. Last time we had to teach him how to dance. The Radha said, no, it's okay. I'll go. I insist that I will go learn from him. And Vishaka said, fine, Radharani, but we will come with you. So Radharani said, no, I insist that I go alone. And after a few minutes of convincing, the gopis finally let her go. Vishaka and the other gopis, they all wanted to decorate her to go learn a dance with Shyam Sundar. So they decorated her with her garments, ornaments, and 4 different types of ankle bells. So when Radharani found Krishna, he was sitting on the banks of the Yamuna, and he was talking about the sweet glories of Radharani. Radharani and Krishna had an amazing conversation full of laughter, jokes, and teasing each other. And Krishna spoke up and he said, Radharani, I want to teach you a dance for the Rasa dance. Radharani said, of course, because that's why she went to Shyam Sundar, to learn a dance. So Shyam Sundar started off by saying there's 7 types of dances. Dancing with the neck, dancing with expression, dancing with your eyes, dancing with your feet, dancing with your waist, dancing with your whole body, and dancing with mudras. And he also said that there's 3 beats. So he showed her simply how the dance is. And as Radha was dancing, he sang and he started clapping. After a little bit of her dancing, he noticed that Radha was getting tired, so he took her to a kunj. Radharani was mesmerized by the kunj. She was so absorbed in it that as she was absorbed in it, Krishna decided that he wanted to steal something from her. And he stole one of her most prized possessions, her ring. And this was a mirror ring. Her mother gave it to her on her birthday, and she loved it very, very much. And Shyam Sundar knew that. So after that whole pastime, Radharani went back to Barshana, and the gopis asked her how it went. She said, amazing. A little bit after that, as it was like afternoon time, the gopis decided, okay, Radharani, we want to decorate you with more garments and ornaments. Now Radharani has 64 ornaments, and they keep it in this box, in this kind of like a jewelry box. And Vishaka is in charge of that box. So as the gopis were taking off all of her ornaments, they also had to count it to make sure that there were 64. But this time, there was only 63, and we know why. his Shamsundar stole one of her rings, right? So we have 63. So Vishakasaki went to Radharani. She said, Radharani, I know who the culprit is. It's your dear Shamsundar. Radharani did not buy it. She said, Shamsundar would never do such a thing, let alone steal my ornaments. Vishaka said, Radharani, you have to believe us. You don't know Shamsundar like we do. Shamsundar is the biggest thief. He can steal our heart. Who knows what he can do with stealing an ornament? And with that, Vishaka angrily went all the way to to Shamsundar. She went to Shamsundar and she said, Shamsundar, I know you stole Radharani's ring. Krishna said he doesn't know about women's rings. He said, it could be a toe ring, a finger ring, a nose ring, or an earring. I don't know. And Vishaka said, see, you do know about women's rings, so you have to have stolen it. So Vishaka grabbed Krishna and she said, Krishna, I'm going to take you to the other gopis and the gopis will decide how we're going to find it. So they arranged a spot for the gopis and Krishna to meet up. And the gopis said that we're going to look for it in all of his clothing. So they took off his garments, his ornaments, and they tried finding the ring. And one of the gopis found the ring and she said, ha, I found it. So Vishaka told Radharani that, see Radharani, I told you that he stole it. And Lalita said, Radharani, you have to punish him. So Radharani said, the only punishment for an unkind lover is that I will not speak to him. And as all the Brajavasis came and gathered around because of so much commotion, Vishaka announced, she announced, from now on, Radha will not talk to Krishna. So Krishna went home, back to Govardhan Hill, because Vishaka kicked him out. Embarrassed, completely embarrassed. And Vishaka went to Radharani. She was like, Radharani, we have to take revenge. And Radharani was like, okay, so what's your plan? Vishaka said, we have to steal from Shamsundar. Radharani was like, okay, but I don't know how to steal Vishaka. Vishaka told her, it's okay, I'll teach you how to steal from him. So they made a humongous plan. The plan was that they go to Krishna and steal his peacock feather, his favorite black chadar, his flute, his ankle bells, and the stick he uses for herding the cows. So now we're talking about Krishna. So Krishna and Madhu Mangal had just finished their noon lunch, meaning they would take a huge nap after. So Madhu Mangal noticed that Krishna already fell asleep and was in a deep sleep, meaning Krishna would wake up before him and go play with the cows and have fun. And he didn't want to miss out, so he tied his leg to Krishna with a rope to make sure that he wouldn't leave and he would also wake up. So now Radharani and Vishaka are making their way to Krishna, and there was a huge arrangement made, not a huge arrangement, like there was a small arrangement made for them to meet up. And so she told Radharani, now is your chance to go steal from Krishna. So she stole her, again, like his peacock feather, his favorite black chadar, his flute, his ankle bells, and his stick that he uses for herding the cows. And Vishaka, on the other hand, went to Madhu Mangal and she cut his mustache that he loved very much, into uneven pieces. And they ran away with everything. So after a little bit, Krishna woke up and he looked at Madhu Mangal and he just started laughing because Madhu Mangal looked kind of crazy. And Madhu Mangal looked at Krishna also like kind of shocked because everything was missing. And and Krishna knew who it was. He knew that it was Vishaka, but he also knew that Radharani would also tag along. So they made a plan to dress as old gopis and find a way to get their stuff back, right? So they dressed as old gopis and they hobbled all the way to the palace of King Vrishabhanu, Radha's dad, and Radha stays in that palace. So they just started wailing and screaming and crying, and they're like, oh, Shamsundar, I miss Shamsundar, I feel so separated from Shamsundar. So Radha ran outside with such empathy, and Lalita and Vishaka followed behind her. And she said, "My dear, what's your name?" Thing is, they didn't discuss what their names would be in the plan. They were only focusing on getting what they wanted back. So Mother Mangal whispered in Krishna's ear, she's like, Radharani's asking me what your name is, and we didn't plan that out. And Krishna said, "Tell her my name is Shaima Premi Gopi. Shaima Premi Saki." So Madhu Mangal told her that, and she said, "What can I do to please you? I feel so bad." And she was, empathy. And they said they missed Shamsundar, so she asked Vishaka, "What should I do?" Vishaka said, "Since you have all of Shamsundar's things, how about you just dress up as Shamsundar?" So she went inside, and after a few minutes she came outside and she started playing the flute beautifully like Shamsundar. But the real Shamsundar jumped up and took all of his stuff back, and everybody laughed because, Krishna and his tricks. But the only person who wasn't laughing was Madhu Mangal, because of his mustache, and he was crying. And since Vishaka felt bad, she took her hand and she put it over his mustache, and it all came back. And she gave him a boon too, that no one would ever be able to cut his mustache, neither will he ever be able to cut his mustache. And this story was the reason I chose Vishakasaki. Vishakasaki in the story was very funny, very revengeful, and she always found a way to get back at Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,